Hello all and welcome. I am the Practical Philosopher and this is the Practical Philosopher Show. In this video, I had to comment. I saw it, I was browsing YouTube and I saw this video from this vacuous, empty-headed moron of a woman named Tomi Lahren talking about where are the men. And I was curious because I've heard of her and she's supposed to be a conservative commentator, or was formerly a conservative commentator for The Blaze, who has now been fired. You can only thank God for that. What took him so long to get rid of her? Because clearly she's a wolf in sheep's clothing, a feminist, meaning no logic or reasoning skills at all, parading as a conservative, trying to play both sides of the field to get more popular, when she's really just playing on her looks. And so I just clicked it and watched because the title to me seemed like something a feminist would say, and she's ranted in the past about being some kind of anti-feminist, which is horse shit. So I said, I gotta see this. This sounds rather stilted and not quite what this girl is supposed to be about. So what is this about? So let's see what she has to say on this subject, shall we?
Welcome back for my final thoughts. I'm going to do something a little different with these final thoughts. Get a little bit more personal, if that's okay. Hazing and fraternities got my wheels turning. It brought to mind something I talk to my friends about on a daily basis, but until now haven't really shared with you, my viewers. It's not politically correct and actually not even that political, but it is important. Why
is it important? Why do you feel this need to say something about there not being enough men out there? Well, let's get to that. Yeah, well, let's see what you have to say first.
Is it just me, or have men gotten really soft these days?
Strike one. No. If men have gotten really soft, it's because women have gotten really hard, okay? Women used to be soft and cuddly, and, you know, they used to rub your feet after you got off of work and cook you a meal and clean your laundry and keep the house clean and take care of the kid and pay the bills, and you went out like the workhorse that you actually are, and you earned a living doing the real work. Because I'm sorry, but when you don't have a boss who can fire your ass, you're not doing a real job, okay? Being at home, I mean, people, oh, being a housewife is just as hard as your job. No, it is not. You get to take occasional breaks throughout the day, especially if you ain't got kids. If you ain't got kids, all you're doing is cleaning your clothes and then throwing mine in with them, and then throwing them in a dryer, okay? You're not even hanging them up outside to be dried by the wind. I mean, hey, you have these images of women from the old days. Yeah, that was when it was an actual chore. Now you got automation to do most of your work, so, okay? So women have changed. So men have changed in accordance. You've gotten too hard. You've become too much like how men used to be. So of course men are going to change. Duh.
I talk about the breakdown of the American family ruining our country, and this is part of it.
Yes, yes, but why has the American family broken down? Did you ask yourself that? It's not because of men.
Yeah, I know the feminists are going to go crazy over this.
No, the feminists are clapping and cheering for you because all you're doing in this segment is attacking men. And they love to attack men. It's what they live for.
Because there are women's studies classes dedicated to demonizing masculinity, so there's one symptom of a larger disease.
Right. And those women's studies classes cater to women like you, Tommy. You are a closet man-hater masquerading as an intelligent conservative, and you're neither. Okay? So get that through that thick blonde head of yours.
Who would have thought in 2016 we were holding up frat boys as the last line of defense against an all-out pansy fest?
I don't hold up frat boys for nothing, okay? They're not any last defense against pansies, in my opinion. We do need to defend against women like you, however, who are the real problem. Attacking men, okay? It's women like you that have such a low opinion of men, alright? That's the problem.
And this has nothing to do with sexuality, by the way. More so it has to do with the helplessness of today's young men.
Today's young men are helpless, right? Do you mean the majority who are single and don't have a woman, yet they still manage to survive. Yeah, they're so helpless that they work and provide for themselves and pay their bills and wash their own clothes and make their own sandwiches, which isn't even cooking, but I bet you couldn't even make a sandwich, for God's sake. So what the hell are you complaining about? You're far from a real woman. All this real man, real woman talk is talking about the traditional roles of men and women, which, by the way, women like you destroyed when you wanted equality. I got news for you, sweetheart. You're not my equal.
It seems few can change a light bulb, let alone fix a flat tire or change oil.
Can you? Excuse me, honey, but I thought that you were my equal. I thought that you and me were on the same level playing field. That you were as strong as me. You could be an Army Ranger. You could be G.I. Joe. Or G.I. Jane, that bullshit propaganda movie. Give me a break. Female becoming a U.S. Navy SEAL. Get the hell out of here. You know how much you'd have to handicap all of those different tests they go through to get a woman through? Give me a fucking break. And can you, when was the last time you changed oil, sweetheart? Oh, that's a man's job. I thought you were about equality. How about them little chicken arms of yours? Could you even get the nuts and bolts off of those wheels to take the tire off? You don't even have the physical strength to do any of that. So you do need a man, but you want to be equal to us. Well, if you're equal, change your own goddamn tire and I'll make my own goddamn sandwich.
And that makes for pretty slim pickings for the females out there looking for a match.
Yeah, you know why it's slim pickings, honey? Because we don't want to be with you. We don't like you. We like women. Not some women parading as a man, parading as a conservative who's really a feminist. Who wants to be with you? Nobody.
Chivalry is all but dead, and so is manliness.
Yeah! Chivalry is dead. You know why? Because it implies you're superior to me in today's day and age. And you are not superior. A little chicken arm thing that couldn't change your own tire or change your own oil. You are not superior. For me to open your door, pull out your chair, give you flowers and compliment you and act all chivalrous and help you down out of that carriage, which is how outdated chivalry is to begin with, that implies you're superior to me. Or it implies I'm getting something in return. Now, today's women are not traditional women. They have claimed equality. Equality, by the way, is bullshit. None of us are equal. I'm not going to be in the NBA. I'm 5'11", okay? So I'm not equal to some people. She's not equal to me. We're different. But she wants to act like we're the same. So in no way am I going to give her special treatment and treat her as superior. And it is treating her superior when I get nothing in return. Are you going to rub my feet after work? Are you going to make me a sandwich, which isn't even cooking? Are you going to cook my meal? Are you going to raise my kid? By the way, I notice you're single, honey. Where's your man? Where is your man? Oh, you don't have one. Big surprise. Yeah, because you don't perform the traditional female roles, but you still expect us to perform the traditional male roles. What hypocritical bullshit. And you wonder why nobody wants to be with you.
And by the way, wearing a flannel shirt and having a beard doesn't make you a man if you still can't change a tire and you're scared of the dark.
What the hell do you know about real men anyway? I wouldn't be surprised if you were raised by a single mommy, or if you did have a daddy, he was clearly a pussy, because he didn't teach you anything about real men. But I'm guessing you had a single mommy. If you, like I said, your daddy was around, he was a total tool. Why don't you know anything about men? You clearly know nothing about men. You're a woman. What the hell do you know? And by the way, you're clearly a privileged woman who has no critical thinking skills and hasn't really stopped to analyze your argument, because you're missing all the contradictions and the hypocrisy in what you're saying, not to mention the fact that you sound like a raving feminist, which you are, and that you're exposing your biases for everyone to see, which you formerly have hidden to stay the supposed conservative voice that you claim to be, which you are not. So you're not all that intelligent, sweetheart, okay? And not only have you showed your biases, but you showed your ignorance about men.
It seems like millennial men either don't have jobs or they're still using their parents' credit cards to buy us drinks at the bar.
Yeah, okay, bingo, bingo. Isn't that reference she's making just a little too personal, a little too specific and on point, and it's just too much detail? Some guy bought her drinks with his parents' credit card, probably somebody she dated. And this is what probably formed the basis for her hateful bias against men. So this rant is a personal rant. I don't want to get personal. You're being personal, honey. You clearly had a bad relationship with a man, and now it has tainted your view of us. And by the way, we men have had bad relationships with women throughout history. You want to see somebody who's got their heart torn out? Talk to every freaking man on earth. Why don't you woman up and deal with it?
Oh, and for the record, I buy my own drinks.
Of course you do, because no man on earth would ever buy you a drink. And no man wants anything to do with you. They all know who you are, and they all know that if they date you, their balls are going to be in your pocketbook.
So whose fault is it? Is it our fault, ladies?
Yes. Yes, it is your fault. It is your fault. Men have become wimps because they want to get into your pants. And you ladies have used this power of dangling in front of our faces what we want, but denying it from us, so that you can manipulate and control us and make us dance around like the little dog that wants the treat you holding in your hand. You've incentivized us to be pussies, which I am not. But I'm talking about the men she is talking about. And a lot of men are saying, no thank you. I am a real man and I want nothing to do with you. And by the way, in my experience, women who use the term, I need a real man, are saying that because they can't find any men. No man wants to be with them. And they deep down know it's because of them. But they don't want to accept it. So they want to blame the man instead of putting the blame squarely where it belongs, which is on themselves.
You're getting too strong?
There it is. We women are too strong. It's the man can't handle us. No, the man doesn't want anything to do with you. He wants nothing to do with you. And in a sense, you're actually right. You have become too strong. You've become too much like a man. We don't want to date other men. We want to date real women, which you are not.
I don't buy that.
I don't buy it either, sweetheart. Thank you.
See, a real man knows how to handle a strong woman. So this.
A real man does know how to handle a strong woman. You know what he does? He walks away and finds somebody else because he doesn't want to deal with your bitchy ass. This woman is an arrogant, conceited, self-entitled bitch. Why would any man want to put up with you, a woman that walks around with your nose held high, I'm better than all men? And that's how you act. You act like you're so wonderful because you'd have to be. You'd have to be to make these from on high comments about men. I'm so superior. I can make these observations about men and talk about what scum they've become, how weak they've become, and they're so weak and you're afraid of the dark. I'm so snooty. Bitch, nobody wants to be with you. That's why you can't find a man. They're not scared off by you. They just don't want to be around a woman like you.
This isn't our problem.
It is. That is your problem, actually. That is the problem. You're in denial. You're in denial. That is the problem. Say that in your head like a mantra 10 billion times and maybe you'll get it.
Maybe it's the way boys are raised these days.
Bingo! But that's just a contributing factor. It is not the reason. It is not the sole contributing factor, okay? Yes. 70% of black families are single mother. 40% of white families are single mother. Yeah, that's a big, big problem. Like your single mommy, because I'm sure your daddy ran off. Who the hell would want to be with your mommy if she's anything like you? And like I said, if he stayed married to her, he was a cuck, he was a pussy, he was a gelded a long time ago. And that's why you have this horrible opinion of men. Clearly you've never been around an actual man because they're nothing like what you're talking about. And I believe that's what she's referring to. And yes, millennial men today have been gelded by their mommies that hate men because they've had no male influence. And that's a problem. Because they've taken on too many feminine characteristics, not enough masculine ones. But that's again women's fault.
Fatherless homes and no male role models. It's hard to learn how to be a man with no man around.
Bingo. And it's hard to learn how to respect men without a man around. You grew up without a real man around, or possibly with no man. So you don't know anything about real men, how real men are supposed to act, and you're giving all these surface examples. It doesn't matter if you have a beard and wear a red flannel shirt. Isn't that the mascot for some paper towel company? It doesn't matter if you can't change a light bulb and you're afraid of the dark. Sweetheart, that is such a condescending statement and clear hyperbole, because there are no men out there I've met that are afraid of the dark, okay? Not men, maybe children. So you're automatically showing your bias when you go into these extreme nonsensical examples that show clear contempt for men. You're not hiding your bias at all. You made a big mistake in filming this segment.
But even stable families are failing, though. If your son thinks cleaning his room is a chore, that's your fault.
Yeah. Stable families are failing because men have become subservient to women. Because feminists like you have taught men to serve them, and society has become matriarchal. And by the way, it was never patriarchal to begin with. Patriarchy is bullshit, okay? Total nonsense. And all women want is superiority. They're not interested in equality, okay? If they were interested in equality, this little bitch wouldn't be on here ranting and raving about how men won't change the oil or change the tire and she has to do it. If she was so about equality, she'd be doing it herself, not complaining about it.
Not his. If you take your 7-year-old son into the ladies' room, that's your fault, not his.
Right, I agree. Where's the father? Oh, he's not there because he ran as fast as he could to get away from you.
Please teach your sons how to be men, because the women of the world are tired of the boys.
How can a woman teach a man how to be a man, you dummy? Answer, she can't. Children learn from example more than anything else. The things you tell them are far less important than what they see you doing. So if they have a mommy and no daddy, all they're going to see is mommy ranting about, what an asshole your father is. He's late with this support check and my alimony. So not only are today's mothers teaching kids that men are assholes, but they're teaching them to expect handouts from men and that we're nothing more than human wallets, which totally dehumanizes us in the eyes of women, and there's no counterpoint there like a man to show the reality of what a man is. So really, it's all women's fault, and it's not men's fault at all. You dumb bitch, you.
As always, those are my final thoughts. You know what I think. I want to know what you think. Tweet.
I don't think you think, honey. I imagine this very slow-running little hamster running on his little wheel, and he's a big fat hamster, and he's not moving too fast because he's a big fat hamster. That's my idea of how fast and efficient your thought processes are. Not so good.
Meet me at Tomi Lahren, and let's start the conversation.
I am so glad you were fired from your job for being the hypocritical piece of crap you are. You're not only are you not a conservative, but you're in no way pro-male. You have shown your bias. What this woman is a feminist in sheep's clothing. She's disguised herself as conservatives, and she occasionally throws out her real opinions to sort of appeal to the feminists out there that might be watching, or the people who are have sympathy toward feminism. She wants to play both sides of the court. She wants to have the lefties and the righties as her audience. She's more like a politician than anything else, trying to appeal to everybody. But the truth of the matter is, she is a feminist, first and foremost. She's made that very clear.
I'll be back tomorrow night, same time, same place. God bless, and take care.